Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. We're going to dive in right now to talk about a quote that I heard in a podcast from probably 3-4 years ago. And it was a podcast on the Rich Roll podcast with Dr. Zach Bush, MD. And he was talking about how he used to previously identify as being a fixer and how he hilariously stated that in order to be a fixer, what do you need? You need shit broken. So that's what I want to talk to you about today, because I don't necessarily think that a lot of women identify with being a fixer. Maybe they do in some ways, but I think what's an even stronger identity for the people that I talk to and that are in my life and the person that I am and have been in the past is that of a helper. Somebody who graciously and generously gives their time, is kind and caring, really thoughtful, and oftentimes does this in a self-sacrificing way. And I think this is very important because by identifying as somebody who's a helper, oftentimes we can overgive and overpour into other people while holding ourselves back from the habits, from the life that we truly want to live. And I think that sometimes we do this unintentionally or kind of reactively without thought, but at the same time, I think we're subconsciously holding ourselves back out of fear of starting, out of fear of the possibility of failing what we want in our life, or the possibility and the fear that you're going to succeed in what you want. And so we don't start and we don't hold ourselves accountable. And that's why I want to start with a quote in this book. It's called The Pivot Year, and it's by Brianna Weist. She is an incredible author. I would highly recommend any and all of her books. And so this is day 10 in The Pivot Year. This whole book is set up as a place that you could read day by day, up to 365 days, a way to kind of start your day with intentionality. And I love this book. I've read it many times. So here's day 10. The journey is not how you place down what's been weighing on you, but how you learn to stop picking it up. Not when you decide to stop, but the strength of your resolve not to begin again. With the habits, the people, the thoughts, the behaviors that you know can only lead to your own self-destruction. It's how you release your familiar unhappiness, how you decide you've outgrown the emotional crutches that have soothed you and distracted you and held you when you needed it most. How you move forward is what you begin to reach for in their place. And so that part that really stays with me from this excerpt is how you decide you've outgrown the emotional crutches that have soothed you and distracted you. And that's what I'm talking about. We can find emotional soothing and distracting in other people's pain and other people's reactivities. We can find it in relationships that have kind of gone on way too long. We can find it in ignoring that which is secretly calling within ourselves. And I want to tell you about how I really find those desires within me and how I do the things that I say I'm going to do. Because I think one of the greatest lies that we tell ourselves is that we're fine. And when you really look deeper within, maybe you'll discover that you're not fine. And it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not like where you're at. It's all right to want a different life. It's okay to be not grateful for where we're at. I think oftentimes as women, we're told that we should be grateful for all that's come for us, all the good things. And most people don't say to be grateful for the bad things, but some people really do. They want to be grateful for everything that's happened for us. And yes, to some extent, the things that have happened for us have made us who we are. And there's a place where some people might regret a little bit of that, but most people, if you ask them, wouldn't regret who they are, the actions that they've taken before, because they're proud of who they are, the strength that they've found within themselves. And I want to empower you to take that strength, to find a little bit of time, either in your evening or in your morning. This is what I personally do, because I find that when I take even 5 or 10 minutes for myself to figure out what my goals are, for my day and for my week, what things that I want to bring about in my life. For example, if I want to start marathon training, I know that in order to become a runner, I need to run. And let's say my goal is to run 15 miles this week, which means that I'm running 3 times a week, 3 miles, 5 miles, 7 miles. I'm going to, if I really, really, truly want to be a marathon runner and I truly want to improve my running abilities, I am not going to drop the ball on this. I'm going to find those 3 days in my calendar and put those in, and that is blocked off time as if I was as accountable to that thing as I am to my work. And I'm not going to let that time be given over to something else. Now, I do understand that there are non-negotiables that spring up. Maybe a family member is sick, maybe there's other responsibilities that you have that are a bit more important than what you want to create in your life in this very moment. But you need to figure out consciously where you want to put your energy and make sure that you're making yourself an equal priority. And if you really don't want to change, then be honest with yourself about that, because Mel Robbins has a fabulous quote, and that is that your dreams are either there to push you forward or they're there to haunt you. If you don't go after the things that you want, you need to either accept that that's no longer you, you no longer want those dreams, or accept that you're ready to go for them. And that's what I want for you. I want you to create a relationship with yourself whereby you no longer are going to lie to yourself about what you want and what you don't want. And it does take time, but the way that you can continue to build self-confidence and continue to understand what it is that you want for yourself is by even going for it to begin with. When you start to stick to the things that you tell yourself you're going to do is when you create that confidence, that inner self-confidence. I think that a lot of people get stuck in the idea of imposter syndrome. You're not an imposter if you have no experience doing what you want to be doing. For example, when I started at my naturopathic medical degree, there were so many people that would say, oh my gosh, I feel like an imposter. Like, I can't believe that I'm in this school program now. I can't believe that I'm going to be, an ND after I finish this program. There's nothing to be an imposter for if you embrace learning. If you believe that you're an expert and that you know all there is to know, you are going to be an imposter, because that is not true. You do not know all there is to know. And I can say that with full confidence because there is nobody I know that knows all that there is to know. And if they believed that to be true, then again, they're lying to themselves. So the whole point is that you can forget imposter syndrome. You can forget the identity of being a helper. And the purpose of this video is to propel you to take a little bit of time to bring intentionality into your life. Embrace the part of you that wants to grow and that knows that there's more out there for you. And go get it, girl. All right, guys, if you found anything useful in this video, please give it a like. Please let us know in the comments below what you've learned. Subscribe if you want to see more from me, and we'll talk soon. Take care, guys. Bye.